my speech on Facebook. I put a little thing on Facebook yesterday because yesterday was my birthday. It was a big birthday for me. I turned 50. I made it.
Oh, wow.
You don't look a day over 25.
Oh.
You are my favorite age.
Somebody put a picture on you on Facebook when you were like a child.
Well, yeah, no, that was, yes, that was one of my friends.
Yeah, it's like you look the same.
You look exactly the same.
You look the same.
So, the speech that I put on Facebook was this. Yesterday, I went to Anka's funeral, and it was I never anticipated going to a funeral on my 50th birthday. And Anka was not somebody that I knew well. She was an agent in our company, and I felt that I had to go as a gesture of respect for that. And I realized as I sat there and I listened to her friends tell stories about her life and about the things that she had done, how we all touch each other in very big and small ways. And so for me, yesterday, that process of going to a funeral on my 50th birthday made me realize how grateful I am for everybody that I know in my life, in the big ways and the small ways that you touch mine. And I'm very grateful for all of you. So that's my little 50th birthday speech. Thank you. And I was actually very grateful to Anka for that being a lesson that she taught me, even though she's not physically here anymore, and that was sort of amazing. So, thank you. And thank you for the flowers, because you guys all gave me flowers.
Pretty.
And thank you for Maureen for sneaking that in, because I didn't expect that. So welcome to the first sales rally of 2016. Thank you to our vendor alliance. As always, Joe May is here. Thank you, Joe. I'm especially grateful to Joe because he's putting together the mortgage for my house, which is coming soon, right? Yes, coming soon. Coming soon. Before we do our fabulous drawing, I wanted to welcome Susan McMullen. So Susan joins us from William Ravis Bear McIntosh, and Susan is going to be our productivity coach. And I'm so excited to have her here. I've been looking for a productivity coach for ages.
Thank you.
So Susan, welcome. Tell us a little about yourself.
Well, I've been an agent since 2000, and I worked for Rand for a long time, until about 2006. And then I stepped out of the market for a little bit, and I owned a bar restaurant for 8 years, and that was an experience. A good one. And then I decided to sell the business, and I went back into real estate, and I learned a lot. I didn't really venture into Nyack and Piermont, and I really liked the area, and I did very well for my 1 year back. And now I met Jen, and I really love her, and I think we're going to do really good things together, and I'm very happy to be here. So thank you.
So this basket is a basket that everybody who's here on time every week, we do a drawing for a prize. And sometimes I'm very creative with the prize drawings, but I'm in the middle of a move, so I'm not very creative. And I do have yours from last time. So don't forget. So once again, this week it is a Starbucks gift card. I know you're laughing at me. I'm so not creative. I'm even lucky to have one. But the whole purpose, it's a giving thing. You're supposed to take the card and take somebody out with it. And we always, as a tradition, have the newest member do the drawing. So Susan, do the honors. Joe May.
Yeah. Great way to start the year.
So that's awesome. Joe May gives so much to us, and we're so glad to have him have a cup of coffee to take one of us out for. So, and we always start off with kudos. Does anybody have a kudo that they would like to give to a fellow Keller Williams agent or family member or friend? Everybody's like, no, we just had holidays and they really steamed in. Well, I had some for, Anka's been on my mind, and one of the things I realized yesterday is how many agents from Keller Williams really in her last days were really there for her. So I just wanted to say thank you. Alice, especially as a close friend of hers, and I know Beth Reichgott really helped her out, and I know so many people went to visit her, and that was a real comfort. So kudos to all of you for that. And I wanted to give a kudo to Susan McMullen because I met with her and I started talking to her, and all of a sudden I just throw out this concept of productivity coach, and she just gets it and jumps on it. And I was just like, wow, that's awesome. So kudos to Susan for that. Yay. Anybody else? Okay.
Shortly at the end.
You guys have to appreciate each other a little better. All right. So we've got some fun things coming up as always. I know you're all really looking forward to the mandatory legal update next week, right? Yeah. Uh-huh. And you've all gotten the notice from Rosemary that there are no excuses. No excuses. So that will be at the Crown
There's a
Plaza.
bar in that hotel, isn't there?
Yes, and I will be there early. Yeah. So the Crown. Randy, are you here?
I'm here.
Okay. What time is that? What time is it?
It's at 9.
9.
What day is that?
Wednesday.
The 28th is a Wednesday?
No,
The 13th.
It's a Thursday.
Okay, so that's at the Crown Plaza in Suffern. So
Yeah,
we'll
you
see
said
you
to
all
be
there.
there at 8:30.
8:30. All right. Probably starting promptly at 9.
Yeah.
The awards breakfast is January 28th. Randy, do you want to tell us about the fabulous awards breakfast?
It's going to be at the Four Over Hilton in their garden room, terrace room. It's really nice and pretty, and a wonderful breakfast, not continental breakfast, a really big, wonderful breakfast is being prepared, and we're going to talk about the year to come and numbers and some great goodies.
Very good. All right, so that will be the 28th. Ignite is coming in January. It's starting next week, Peter?
Next week, and you know, even if you've done Ignite before, it's an all-new Ignite. It's so new that at this particular moment, I know practically nothing about it. However, this afternoon, I am going to be holed up in my office taking a teacher training
Certification,
something or other online, and then I'll know everything about it. But even if you've done it before, this one is supposed to be a lot better and much more productive than the old one. So it's for new, old, seasoned, unseasoned, brand new, been in it forever. It's just a great reboot, and hey, let's rock. So yeah, it starts next week, and this is the time when ALC members stop taking my phone calls because they're afraid I'm going to ask them to teach one of them. Life
Volunteer.
All right, Pete. All right, not G for volunteering. And supposedly the agents who take this are getting 297% better results than the first Ignite. So apparently they have done something that makes it even better. Jessica, you
So you are doing it in a day, right?
Yes, it's going to be from 1 to 3.
1 to 3.
Several days. It'll be
It's Monday, Wednesday, Friday, right?
basically Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, except for the holiday Monday that's in this Sunday.
So the schedule is online and we got it emailed as well. We are going to do the listings palooza. I'm going to get it together. I'm really going to get it together this week. So the whole idea of this listings palooza is that we're going to really concentrate our efforts on certain areas and try to gain market share in those areas because, as we know, having more market share makes everything easier. So I hope everybody participates in that. It's going to be a lot of fun, and we'll start on that next week. And of course, in April, we're working on bringing Bold to the area. So if you haven't had an opportunity to take Bold yet, definitely block it out on your calendar and come talk to me if you need tips on how to pay for it. Okay, so it is January the 5th. You are at the team meeting. This afternoon at 1 p.m., there's the Kellerization. If you're interested in taking this class, this webinar, Randy can put it up for you in the other office. Tomorrow at 1 p.m. is Life of the Listing. You want to talk a little bit about that, Peter?
Life of the listing, yeah, that's it.
Very,
We're going to
latest
just go
and the
through,
greatest.
again, this is, sometimes we just need to see things again, and there's things we know or don't know. We're going to just kind of go through from when you get the listing. It's not about prospecting or getting the listing, but the life of the listing, for when they sign the paperwork to closing day. What's all that 127 things that happen in between? That's what we're going over tomorrow.
Awesome.
Right here.
Great. All right. And then we'll start revving up again on Thursday and Friday with our power hours. Once we do Listings Palooza, we're going to really put a push on that because one of the things that we have seen is that if people call together, they tend to do more business. So we hope to see you there. Maureen, on Google, on Thursday. Did you have any?
Well, we haven't done this class in a while, so especially for new agents who are new to using the Google products, we go over Gmail, Google Docs features, and the Google Calendar. So, and anything else that the room requests. So, hope to see a bunch of you.
Excellent. And then,
RSVP though.
what?
RSVP, please.
Oh, yes. RSVP. And then Friday is our happy hour at La Terraza, which is great. La Terraza is such a great place for a happy hour. So, lots of appetizers and good ones, and we'll see you there. And you know what? Invite some of your friends from other companies, because this is a time when a lot of people think about making a move. So if you have people that you want to introduce to us, bring them along, because it's a fun environment and they don't have to feel so, so formal about it. So we hope to see you there. All right. So I wanted to talk a little bit about getting back to business, because now is the time when the holidays are all over. Lots of us have taken breaks. Lots of us have not made phone calls in a week or maybe even longer. But the spring market really is just around the corner. Hard to believe because it's so cold today. So I was thinking about what we were going to talk about today, and I want to talk about how you winterize your business plan so that you can reap your harvest in spring. So I'm definitely like all of you guys. I took time off for the holidays. I need to get back into it. I have to have a business plan together the same way that you do. I need to hit my goals in order to make money. I don't know if a lot of you realize this, but a lot of my compensation is based upon us hitting our goals. So when I talk about hitting goals, it's not only important for me, it's also important for you. In order to do this, I need to grow my skills, and I need to understand what my strengths and my weaknesses are, and I need persistence, and I need focus in order to make these things happen. So I have a good idea of what it is that you guys have to go through on a daily basis, because it's the same thing. You guys are doing the same thing. And so I was thinking about how I'm going to structure my next year, because this year we brought in 60 new agents into Keller Williams.
60.
60. Yeah, and the goal for next year is 72. So I have to increase my skills in order to get there. So when I was thinking about how am I going to get there, I thought, you know what, it's getting to the point where I really need to understand what it is I'm very good at and what it is that I'm less good at, because your strengths are your biggest asset. So if you focus on your strengths and you can find people to help you with your weaknesses, that's where you're going to get to the biggest bang for your buck, and that's where people are going to remember you. So there are far more things that I am not good at than I am good at. And I think that that's true for everybody. It's, there's a whole world of possibilities of things that you could do. And when you look at your strengths, there's maybe 4 or 5 things you really excel at. So mastery really comes when you focus on what you're very, very good at instead of trying to do a huge number of things. It's always a challenge for us in real estate because we're called on to do a huge number of things. So I want you to think about that. What are you really good at? What are you going to focus on this year in doing for your business that's really going to take the business and push it to a higher level? If you try to do everything, you will do nothing. So what is it that you're really good at? And what you're really good at is the key to making money. All right? You will find literally thousands of ideas in real estate that have worked for people. There is not a magic formula for making money in real estate other than just do it. Many things have worked for many different people, and as real estate agents, we're always looking for the easiest thing because it's so confusing to figure out what exactly we should be doing. If you have a really good idea of what you're good at, you're going to be less distracted by the shiny objects that people will dangle in front of you. There's constantly new technologies and new people saying they're going to get you, thousands of leads and you're going to make $100,000 this year. But if you attach yourself to something that you're not really good at, do you think that you're going to get the best results? No. I mean, this is what I always tell my kids. You do it is what you're good at, and maximize. So if you maximize them, you're going to kick some booty this year. And that's what I want. I want a bunch of booty kickers here because that's what I intend to do. So the spring market is really just around the corner. And as we all know, the saying is you got to list to last. That's just, it's really about getting the listings. Now, well, I can say that, and some people will say, well, I like to work with buyers better. That's okay, because as a company, the more listings we have, the more opportunities there are for people who like working with buyers. So the list to last is really for us as a whole company, and this is why we're going to be doing this contest where we're really trying to concentrate our listings in an area so that we can expand opportunities for everybody. So I was thinking about this, all right, winterizing your business. So now it's kind of sleepy. Who wants to comment on how the last couple of weeks were? Were you busy? Were you not busy? Were you taking people out? Did you take listings? Irene?
No, I was very busy actually.
Buyers, sellers, wrapping up?
Mostly, sellers and a couple of buyers, but yeah, it's been like unbelievable busy.
And are you
It's out
seeing?
there.
Are you seeing in 90 days that it's going to be as busy as it is now? Are you seeing?
Yeah, I'm hoping it's gonna be busier now. That's what I see, you know?
Yeah.
Is it the, you know, cause I don't know if it's because of the weather or I don't really know, you know, cause the winter you figure, oh, it's dead, but
That's been
it
busy.
wasn't, you know?
Peter.
Yeah, I've been surprisingly busy. My listing in Nyack has had a ton of showings, and people looking this time of year mean it. They're not, they're not messing around. And I've been getting phone calls out of the blue for listings in the near future, and it's like, okay, thank you, Lord, keep it coming, you know.
All right. Keep it up with that. With
There's
the
no,
call.
I mean, there's no question, the market is much more active this December than it's been in a lot of Decembers. There's people out there buying, getting inquiries, and it's got a lot to do with the weather too, but, you know, it could be a lot of factors. I mean, the fact that interest rates, quote, went up, which really haven't happened to mortgage rates, can also be a factor of people going, you know, it's time, I don't want to wait till rates get really high. You have warm weather, and you have an economy that's not doing so horrible, and it's definitely made an impact. So yeah, you don't want to be sleeping in January because there's a lot of business out there.
So I haven't been busy. Actually, everything is under contract, so I basically have no listings right now. But for the last few weeks, Kristen and I have been actually working really hard with trying to go over everything that came in last year, all the CMAs that have been done, trying to follow up with everybody. Actually called some FSBOs and expired, which I haven't done in years. So I'm trying to generate for the coming months because if you don't have listings, you don't have anything, you're not gonna have any buyers. So I've actually been, I never work hard this time of year, but you know, with trying to generate, but that's what we've been doing. You know, we've definitely been putting everything out there, and I'm hoping that it's gonna help for the next few months, but I haven't been busy because everything is sold. And if you don't have listings, you kinda don't really get calls.
Well, I took 3 listings. One came on the market yesterday. The other 2 are going to come on in the next 7 days or so. But the point that I had made is every seller has the same theme this type of year. I want to wait till spring, and that really hurts them simply because of the crowd mentality, thinking that things are better in the spring. Are you one of 5 in the spring, or are you now one of 20 listings that come on in the spring? And how do you feel that will either help you or hurt you, especially that the buyers that do come out this time of year tend to be more serious. So that's something that maybe you can impart to somebody that may be on the fence about a listing. There's some information on Realtor.com that bears those numbers out.
Great. What's your best script, John, when you're talking to these people?
As far as when they want to list in the spring?
Yeah.
I'd say, listen, you know, I have some information here that shows historically that homes that are listed in November, December, January sell for about 17% more. That comes off of Realtor.com. I'll show them what the actives would have looked like last year. Okay, typically this is, you know, March, April, all the listings come on. If you're going to be one of 5 now, you're going to be one of 20 then. How do you feel that will affect your odds of selling your house and the price that you'll get? And I'll just sit there and I'll be silent and just wait for them to kind of digest a little bit and think about it. And so, you know, now I can tell you that the absorption rate in your area, 70% of things are going to expire, 30% are going to sell. Now your odds are even now there's a greater number that are going to expire, and you don't want the frustration of being on the market for 9 months with an overpriced listing and frustration and people walking through your house, you know, for 9 straight months and you having to keep it tidy and everything else. I mean, makes sense to me. I mean, you feel the same way. You know?
So you do the pain versus pleasure. You take them right into the pain. Good. Thank you for sharing that. And Stephanie had her hand. I saw you raise your hand.
You know, I would say I found things were a little sluggish getting the contract before the holiday. Like the week before Christmas, I was insane. And nobody thinks I was contract. But what I found really interesting is over the holidays, over $1 million buyers are out there. I mean, just like homes and property. Yeah, I thought that was really interesting. I'm not sure what's sparking that right now. Maybe they're all gone.
Yes.
Yes, they could all.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. So, yeah, I'm gonna I think spring is right now.
Yes, exactly. You've got to plant now in order to reap in the spring.
Yes, I'm finding that a lot of investors want to look to buy now because they think they could get better prices now than they would get in the spring.
I also had 3 offers over the holidays, and all of them I was outbidded, and they went to 1-week contract. It's amazing, like that much energy, and I had good buyers who just got outbid, and a lot of them are they bought them, they flipped them, and in 6 months they think they're getting $1 million for it, but the point is these buyers are going under contract, and all my buyers are good buyers, but I was outbid.
Yeah, same here. I had that.
And they don't want to hear about a second person. They're just taking their buyers.
So so let's get some more inventory because Virginia can sell them.
Absolutely.
Peter.
And just something to add to all of that is something that I found in January of 14 as well as January of 15 is the buyers came right out of the gate after the first of the year. I'm hoping it's going to be the same this year. This is really the first business week, the second business day. And the moral of the story is if there's people you've been thinking about calling but hemming and hawing, get on the phone. Get on the phone.
With a big smile.
And you've got the whole interest rate thing going up to, to get them moving.
There are actually 3 important changes on Fannie Mae that you can talk to people about.
Cool.
First one, loans above 417, you have to put 10% down. So from 417 to 625, the only way you can put 5% down is to get an FHA loan. But as of December 15th, Fannie Mae now will do 95% financing above 417, which is a big thing. So if you have customers that really are in that higher price range but only have 5% down, they can get a conforming mortgage now, which is a much better loan for them if they have good credit. The other important thing, you have customers that are self-employed. In the past, you always needed 2 years of tax returns, and you had to average the returns. If this year was higher than last year, you would average it. If this year was lower than last year, you would have to use the lower number on top of the fact that if it was too much lower, you have to account for what's happening to their business. Now, Fannie Mae is saying, in some cases, but you have to get them pre-approved, you run it through their electronic approval, and it's only going to ask for 1 year of tax returns. So that's huge. I have a customer now, your customer, that she made a lot more money in 2014. Now she qualifies without having to do her 215 return, but if she does her 215 return, and it's even higher, which she says it's going to be, I can use just that income alone. So that's a big difference, because, you know, every $2 that you make this year would have been $1, but now every $2 you make equals $2. So that was a big, big change. So those are the 2 biggest ones. Third is non-occupant co-borrowers are now allowed on Fannie Mae loans. All right, that's huge because but they have to be family members. So it can't be just a friend or a relative. It has to be a family member. But they don't have to occupy the property. And they don't have, so that's another thing. They used to have to go to FHA loans to do a non-occupant co-borrow, which, you know, so someone's putting 20% down, would have to pay PMI because they'd have to do an FHA loan. Now, if you're putting 20% down, you have a non-occupant co-borrower, you can go on a Fannie Mae mortgage. Those are three big things that makes a buyer a better buyer.
What's a family member? Kissing cousins?
Cousins are allowed. Fathers-in-laws, mothers, brothers, grandparents, any real family member.
Joe, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
I have somebody who has a house in Nyack, wants to sell it, use it as not sell it, use it as an investment property, and also buy in Rockland. Wasn't there a distance? They couldn't be a certain distance?
No, that's only for FHA, if they wanted to get both FHA loans. If you own a house and you have an FHA mortgage, if you want to get another FHA mortgage, the house has to be at least 100 miles away from the creek.
Out of the county.
But you can still get another mortgage, just not another FHA.
Interesting. All right, anybody else want to comment on the state of the market? All right, so now's the time to take advantage. All right, so I have a series of slides here, and this was compiled by one of the coaches at Keller Williams, and it's about some things that you can do now that's really going to reap those benefits in a couple of months. And so there's a bunch of great ideas here, and I want you to think as we go through these, which one would work for you. And don't attach to all of them because you're not going to be able to do all 10 of them most likely, but think about the ones that really fit with who you are and how you can take them and really blow them out of the park. Because another thing about mastery is that agents, we all offer the same services. We can all do exactly the same thing. But so you really need to concentrate on what sets you apart from another agent, and really understanding what your strengths are and being able to master them will do just that for you. All right. Oh no, where did it go? Oh, I know where it went because I told Mo not to put it in the. Here it is. Okay. All right. So, top 10 ways to winterize your business. All right. Hand deliver the HUD-1 statement to all buyers and sellers from 215, even if the orphaned clients of the co-broke, unless it's one of our fellow KW associates. Has anybody ever done this before?
Mm-mm.
I don't have a clue what that means.
I agree. I know what it means.
Karen, have you done it?
I haven't done it, but it's my understanding that today, if you want to get a copy of the HUD at the closing, the buyer has to sign off.
Yes.
To give it to the broker?
So this is, there's a whole new process in place. So this is really for last year. Now, I have a particular feeling about this. I never liked to have copies of HUDs because I felt like it wasn't my thing. There are some agents who kept them, and I know that there is a big agent from Rand, as a matter of fact, who does this, who takes the HUD statements and sends them to people because everybody's scrambling around. If you bought or sold a house, people are scrambling around at tax time trying to find that paperwork because you have to file it when you do your taxes. So this one, I'm a little bit iffy on it.
But you would save people a ton of money on their taxes.
Yeah.
Their accountant needs those numbers.
Yeah, and it would really stick out, I think, especially if it was someone on the other side, because the agents on the other side are not likely to do this. The other thing about this is if you have the HUDs, it should be fairly easy. It's a fairly easy thing to do. So I just wanted to bring that one up in case anybody was looking for something. Okay, next. Have coffee every weekday from now until President's Day with your sphere, allied resources, a new contact, etc. So for 31 business days, invite somebody out for a cup of coffee and come to the meeting so you can get your card. See, now you know why they're so valuable, right? One card, you could take a couple people out. Is there anybody who would do something like this?
Yes.
So how would you do this? What kind of script would you use when you were calling people?
Thirsty.
Make a little energy? Make a phone call? Yeah? Yeah. Yeah, and maybe you could work something out with the Starbucks barista or something when you went in there so that you got a special deal or something. I don't know. But I like that idea because a lot of people say that they don't like to call their friends because they don't like to use scripts on their friends. this is a great way just to take somebody out and have a more casual conversation, because this time of year, especially, I mean, people still ask me how the market is, and I haven't sold anything in, 4 years, but I get it all the time, and so I know that you guys are too. So I love that one, but that's me, I would do that. Create a 33 touch without emails.
How do you do that?
John Genovese would do that. Yeah, how would you do that?
Phone call,
Newsletter.
snail mail, hand delivered something, depending on who it is.
You might do slide dial, so you might send out a broadcast message to all of your clients. You might do a text campaign. You might do the coffee thing. That might be part of your 33 touch.
Which
You
is
know, slide dial is such a wonderful thing, and I'm sure everybody doesn't know what it is. If you just share what that is, I'm sure those that don't know would appreciate it.
Oh, okay. Slide dial is a program that allows you to call somebody and leave a message right into their voicemail. It never goes it never goes to their phone. So I was not above using this when I was an agent, and I did a couple of times with bad transactions where I would call and I would leave a message for the other agent, so they'd be, oh, sorry, I missed you. But it allows you to.
It has its place.
It totally does. It totally does.
It definitely does.
You know what? I found another place. It could be great with an ex-husband too.
Yeah.
I just thought of that, so thanks for putting that in my head, John. I know, I was like, oh yeah. But I think this is an interesting thing because 33 touch has been shown to work. 33 touch has been shown to work, but a lot of people, you have to have the phone call element of it. You can't just rely on email, and too many people. It's too easy in e-edge to just set up a 33 touch in email and say, oh, I did my 33 touch. But what makes the 33 touch work is that personal component.
Also, one other idea on that, which I just found out, was that in your, I don't know about Android, but in your iPhone, you can make a shortcut and attach something to that shortcut. So what I did was, if I go to my messages, text messages, and I go to do a text message, if I type in APP, it automatically puts my mobile app link in the body of the text message. And it's a shortcut, and you assign it, you go to your shortcuts, type in what the shortcut's gonna be, APP, then what does that represent? Well, then it needs to put this into the text message. And I found that to be really cool. So now at the end of every text message, I hit APP, enter, boom, there's the link.
Love that.
Is
that too much for a text message?
What's that? I'm sure it does the same thing. It's basically in the shortcut feature for, it's somewhere in the settings.
We might have to have you do this and show people how to do it.
Yeah, it's just really cool.
Couldn't it just be in your signature too?
In a text message.
I'm not
Text
sure.
message is too much.
I'm not sure.
But it's a link, right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
not,
Yeah,
you're
it's a
going
link.
here
You can
and it'll
text
be,
the
I
link,
think
yeah.
maybe on the keyboard shortcuts, and basically you're just assigning the letters APP, and it says, well, okay, well, what do we need to do when you type that in? And then you input your link to your mobile app.
That's fabulous.
Yeah.
Love that as a part of a 33 touch campaign.
Yeah.
I have a question
Yeah.
regarding 33 touch, if anyone has any advice on this. So, you know, some people don't like getting all the emails or whatever, for whatever reason. So I've had a few people, like, sometimes they just, I guess, just press unsubscribe when it says change of status. I'm assuming that's what that is, because that's somewhat new for me. But if they, like, email you and say, kindly requesting, you know, take me off the list, do you ever, instead of just saying no problem, whatever, does anyone ever respond to that and sort of try to make that a touch and
Yes.
Oh, that's a
something?
great.
And how would you do that?
Oh, we've got some.
Yeah, I would give them a call and say, hey, I'm sorry if that was annoying you. I'm happy to take it off. But listen, what about a monthly newsletter? Would that be okay? I understand you get a lot of emails. If they say, oh yeah, monthly newsletter would be fine, then there's another thing in the system where they just get the monthly newsletter.
Mm.
So it's not
Excellent.
33, it's a dozen, and they're still reminded of you. And if they still say, no, it's nice that you made the call and the connection.
Yeah.
That's great. I
Yeah,
love that.
I like that.
Logan, did you have something
I've had situations like that where it was accidental, and that was a reason to connect and to open up a discussion and just to get you fresh in their
I'm
minds.
just curious as to why, like sometimes, like one time I found out through a friend's husband, I got 5 of them at one time, and I don't know why. There's only one email in that email, to see if the system went crazy or something. So I'm glad a friend told me that, like how annoying would that be?
Right.
To get 5 emails at one time.
Absolutely.
But like I'm just so curious as to why. Like, do they have another agent? Are they not interested in real estate? They just don't want the emails. They don't like the emails. Like, I'm
I
just
think for the
wondering if
most
anyone
part, some
ever
people just don't want any more emails. They get
yeah,
so
or
many.
something like that.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if
Yeah.
anyone has gotten feedback with this 33
But you
touches.
just-
We're all doing.
You know, I've
just
had people
never
say
know
to
the
me,
person.
Peter, I love you, but you know what? I get so many emails, and
Yeah.
I'll call you if it's you. Don't worry. So I just call them every 3 months. Hey, how you doing? It's me. Blah blah blah.
But
But
no
yeah, some
one's
people
ever
just
gotten,
get too many. I know I get too many emails.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
don't
people-
unsubscribe to anything anymore just because I feel for those.
I
Like,
just
okay.
delete
I know.
everything.
I feel so bad to do that.
But you know what I appreciate, because you just brought something up, that word curious, that you are curious about their reasons why. But I think that curiosity allows you to extend the relationship, because you're right. If somebody just unsubscribes and they really are interested in what you have to say, but they just don't want
Yeah.
all of that, then you've just cut off a relationship with them. So thank you for bringing up
I
and
had someone
saying
that told me on a postcard mailing that wants a CMA, that's interested, called me and is still interested, but unsubscribed to the emails. And I just sent him a calendar, so I'm gonna wait until he gets it and call him. But I'm so and I was wondering, was it by accident? Like, why would he unsubscribe if he's asking me to do?
Well, maybe he feels like he already has a relationship with you, so
He just doesn't want email. It's
But
like
I'm
that.
sure
Is
you're
it
gonna
that
ask
bad
him
to get
to.
the email? That's what I'm wondering. Is it
Yeah,
like that intrusive? Like,
People really
some
protect that
that
email box
it's just
vigilantly.
puzzling to me,
Yeah.
I do want to add that I'm finding that often it can be an accident. For example, on MLS, when I set somebody up, a portal, I've had so many times where people accidentally unsubscribe to not get any more emails. So when they ask me to send them something else, and I go to send them something else, and it's blocked because it says this person unsubscribed, you can't send anything more unless they resubscribe. And you call up and they're like, "What are you talking about?" And they don't know how they unsubscribed, and I have to teach them how to then go back on to get emails again. So, and that's happening with the MLS system. So if it's happening with the MLS system, it could easily be happening with the 33 touches as well.
That's right.
You can always call somebody and say, hey, listen, do I send out too many emails? I'm trying to refine my business here. And
That's
listen,
best.
I don't know if
Yeah.
the system went haywire or what, but, just give me some feedback on what you're getting.
Just ask.
I think people are trying to organize their life and they're so sick of so many emails. I know I am, but I actually like when people unsubscribe, because those are people who probably are never going to buy from me anyway. Those are probably buyers that call me once and they're in my edge and they're getting something. And when I see they unsubscribe, I'm like, okay, I'm not going to bother with them. I'm not going to spend my time with them because they don't want to. If they want to, then I never heard of anybody accidentally unsubscribing. I'm sorry. It's so freaking tiny. I can't even find it most of the time. So maybe in MLS, but in anything else, I don't think they're doing. I don't think they're doing it
It's
by
at the bottom
accident.
and it's.
I had somebody, and she said it was her ex-husband who did it.
Yeah.
She actually unsubscribed. He didn't know what he was unsubscribing to, because I didn't know
Yeah,
him.
I think people are trying to get organized too. They don't want so much crap coming into their life,
Yeah.
It's like, stop the madness, stop.
Yeah, but you still
Yeah.
should reach out to them.
Yes.
You should still reach out and make contact with them, because maybe they don't like the email, but they still would work with you.
still like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I always get
Not
a survey that asks 33 touch, so that maybe it's not unusual to get a follow-up email that says, are you no longer interested? Are you
Because
just
I
getting
tried
too many
doing
emails? Are
a
you,
Facebook,
did you subscribe by
like an
accident?
event
Like, and
invite
just
to all of my
multiple
friends.
ways.
Yeah.
So if you
Because a
just
lot
set
of them
up
are like
a
acquaintances,
reply,
I don't really like to talk to them on a regular basis.
Yeah, I had a good friend of mine.
And,
Subscribe. I called him up. I'm like, hey, look,
and it's
here's
like one
some
of those
feedback.
things
He's like, dude,
where
man,
I was
my
trying to ask
email's
everybody
just
to
blown
email.
out.
Like I
You're
don't
gonna
like
see
a
a
separate
screen.
email.
like that I
I
don't
want you to
chat,
say that
but,
again,
like,
because we've got two
coming-
conversations.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
So I did like a very like blanket Facebook to all of my acquaintances. There are people I don't talk to often, but I just know them through growing up and whatnot. I told them, oh hey everyone, I'm a real estate agent now. So if you're interested in real estate now or in the future, or you know anyone who is, like send me your email, and I'd love to send you some information about the market, and a lot of people like messaged me, like congratulating me, and they were like stoked on it, but they did not want to give their email. They were just like, no, too much email, like can't deal with it. I'll call you like when I'm looking for something. So it's like 33 Touch. I see how it's such a, you know, it's a great way to stay seen, but it might be just at this time, it might just be a little too much for some people. So maybe to tone it back to.
So the original intent of a 33 Touch was not email, because it was built before email. So when email came along, people were like, oh, that's awesome, I can do my 33 Touch via email. That was never the intent. The intent was to do a 33 Touch without email. So this is sort of bringing us back to the roots. So and that program has been shown, the 33 Touch has definitely been shown to increase the likelihood that you will do business exponentially. So the challenge then becomes, how do you do it without overwhelming people? You might do 2 of them, or maybe 1 a month is email, so that takes 12 of them. So what are the other 21 going to be, you know? So that might be a way to think about it, because certainly some email people will accept, I think. But, you know, you did Facebook, that's great. Maybe that's one of them.
And I think the more emails you send, the more chances that people are going to unsubscribe for exactly what you just said. It's just too much.
Right. Yeah. Interesting. Okay. Does anybody else have a comment about the 33 Touch without email? Maybe we should do a class on that where everybody can exchange ideas of what to do, because I think this to me is such a no-brainer. If you set it up, then you have a plan and you just work from it. It's a no-brainer. Create. I thought we had done 8 of them. We'd only done 3 of them.
Yeah.
Create an easy selfie video tour of your open house as listings to post on social media. I kind of like that one. That's interesting. Go through all your contacts on Facebook and database and call them up, email them, or say, I'm updating my database and I noticed I don't have your address. What is it? But as we were just saying, maybe then you don't want to put them on the email 33 Touch. Maybe you want to have a 12 Touch or a modified 33 Touch. Focus on 3 lead sources that you are most successful at and block them specifically into your daily calendar. I meant to bring you all page 55 of Shift, but I forgot. Big surprise. But this goes back to what we were talking about before about mastery. What are you going to master? So 3 lead sources. What are your 3 lead sources that you're really good at? And I'm hoping that you all say that one of them is your sphere of influence, because you have a 60-70% chance of doing business with those people. Any comments? The 3 lead sources. 3 7th level open houses. If you're really good at doing open houses and like to meet people, make a commitment to do 3 1 month, that you're going to spend 3 weeks just blowing the top off of open houses. And maybe this is something that we should work into our listings Palooza contest, because once we get the listings, we need to sell the listings. So there's that. Make sure that your 2016 calendar is time blocked with the following 3 things in this order. Personal vacation and days off. Have you all thought about when you're taking vacation? That should be in your calendar. Plan for your business. Does everybody in the room have a business plan? Who doesn't have a business plan? Who isn't willing to admit whether or not they have it? All right, no, honestly, we need to figure out, do we need to do more business planning? Monica says yes, so thank you, Monica, for that, and we will do business planning with you. Anybody else need to do a business plan? Now, does anybody not have a business plan and they know they need one and they're not going to do one anyway? Melissa, thank you for being honest, Melissa. We got to talk. We'll talk later. Because having a business plan is really, really important to get you where you need to go. Also in your calendar should be, when are you doing your lead generation? All right. Hand deliver an item of value to your top 40 people in your database by President's Day. What would you deliver that's of value to people? I don't think Irene didn't like that one very much.
What to deliver
Starbucks
someone.
gift cards.
Starbucks gift cards, there you go.
What is it?
Starbucks gift card. She says,
What, give them what?
Gift
Something
cards.
of value.
I used to do that. I used to get Dunkin' Donuts gift cards, and I put, those renewable ones. I printed out labels with my name and my phone number on it, and I gave the renewable cards to people so that hopefully they would fill it up again and always have my name and number on it. But now everybody's got those cards, so I don't know if it would be as effective, but people used to like those a lot. Anything else? Yeah, so things like that.
And one of the things I send out
Yes.
is to all my closings from the prior year, the star application.
Oh, good one. Yes, thank you.
Yes.
Is everybody familiar with what that is?
I didn't hear her.
Star?
Application.
Oh,
You can download the form online and you can email it to them and then make a phone call and say, hey, I emailed you the star form, did you get it? You gotta do it by March, what is it, March 1st or March 31st? March 1st, yes.
It's better, I think it's
So
better
it's two
to
touches.
mail it.
Exposing them to grieving their taxes.
that's a great one too, especially if they live in an area where, the taxes are
Doesn't hurt.
really high. Well, that's a good one. That's a definite value add. Anything else that people do that's a value add, like leaving the taxes or providing star?
Where do we get the star forms?
They're online.
They're online from New York State Department of Taxation or at the local tax office.
Now, that's another one that you
Just
can
Google
do if you had a
New York
listing
Star, it's come
and it was
right
bought by someone else. That's a great way to pick up an orphaned person, to send that person that star application.
I have the form on my desktop. If anybody sends me an email asking for it, I'll send it to you.
I'm gonna need it.
Jenny, if your listing was sold by somebody else, not a Keller Williams agent, you should send a star application
Yep.
to that address.
Yep.
For the people that bought the house.
Good
Yeah.
idea.
That's a big deal. Every buyer that I've ever worked with, that's the first thing they ask. Oh, do you have that star, that program? How do you do it? What do you do? They're always asking.
But they
Oh,
forget,
really?
and a lot of people don't do it, yeah.
Absolutely.
So maybe the great thing about that is to send it early and then send a couple follow-ups, because how much a hero are you gonna be if somebody intended to do it and they never got around to
Yeah.
it? Except for if you bugged them and they did.
I sent them around Thanksgiving and told them you can do this after January 1st. Then I sent them, then I called to see that they got them. And now this week I'm gonna call to make sure they do it. And then
Perfect.
in February, I'm gonna call to make sure that it was done. So it's a beautiful thing, no, really, because people put it off.
And I think they'll
And
appreciate
if
that.
you say, hey, you've got 5 days left, you
Reason
better
to
do it, they're gonna be very
It's a
happy
good
that they
reason
heard
to
from you.
contact,
Right, because you don't get anything out of it, and you
No,
save them
no, it's for them.
$1,200 or whatever
If they
it is.
didn't do it, they're gonna be delighted you called in and reminded them, and if they did do it, they're gonna really appreciate that you called when the time was almost up. It's win-win.
Excellent, awesome, love that. So thank you for bringing that up here.
And even the homeowners, you have to do it even in your house, and you could even, that's a good idea to email people and say, don't forget to do it, because everybody has to do it every year. You have to.
No, just once.
Oh,
Just
you
once.
don't
Once.
have to do it?
Yeah, just
Oh,
once.
just once.
No, they changed it.
No, I
No.
missed you.
A few years ago, they did a thing where everybody had to do it
Yeah, 'cause
again,
I
but it
had
was
to
just,
do
that
it
was a
again.
one-time
No,
thing.
that was the one, they were trying
Oh,
That
to,
was a
okay.
one-time
They
thing, now
email
it's
you,
just back to once.
they email you like a 4-digit code,
Right,
and then
yeah.
once you go in, you put that code
Put
in,
the
and
code
then
in,
you're
then
good.
you're good.
So
The state took it
someone
Oh,
else takes
okay.
advantage of it, and then
Took it
yeah.
out of
Because I
town.
remember I had to do it again, yeah. All right, well,
The
I
first
thought
time
that
you
would
had to
be a
go.
good excuse to get in touch.
well, some people still might not have it, so it is a good
Right.
excuse. Anyway. All right, and then the number one way to winterize your business is to wake up every day grateful for the opportunities that lie ahead and be committed to success. And look at yourself in the mirror with no regrets. I'm a big believer in that. Anybody have any comments about this? Did you get some ideas about what you're going to do in the next couple of weeks to ramp yourself up? Yes, good, excellent. And now I have to find the presentation again. So now, listings and open houses, does anybody have them? Dawn?
I have a beautiful split coming out in the Laurel Plains School District, probably be out on late Saturday. It's 4-bedroom, 2-bath, doesn't need anything to do. Gorgeous kitchen, very open floor plan. It's probably coming on at somewhere between 4:35 and 4:45. If you want information, just see me.
Excellent. Peter.
My South Mountain listing is now available for rent. For those of you who haven't been there, it's a very unusual, gorgeous, one-of-a-kind house. Not for everybody. It's really not a family house, but if there's some executive coming for 6 months or a year, it could be excellent for something like that. Of course, for somebody who wants an exotic house, it'd be great to buy, but it is now available for rent at $4,500 a month, which is really a deal.
Excellent. John?
Yeah, this came on yesterday. It's a Center Hall Colonial Bardonia, 5 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, 2,700 square feet, pristine home in great condition. They just did the windows, the roof, the vinyl siding, had the driveway paved, professionally landscaped. It's on the market at $575. It's really a nice home.
What's the address?
It's 20 South Cranford.
Great. Anybody else? Stephanie?
I have one. Open house today with Joe May, up to 2, for lunch. It's in Montebello, right off 202, with a street called 5 Wilbur. It's a very pretty 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath colonial set on over an acre. All redone. A beautiful kitchen, finished basement, it's got 3 season rooms, a car garage. Just like a private little street. It's kind of a special setting. Up to 2, come for lunch.
How much is it?
Oh, 519.
The first one on the list.
Anybody else? Valerie asked me to announce her. She couldn't be here today because she's taking another listing. Go Val. She is doing from 11:30 to 1 an open house at 10 South Lexow Avenue, which is a 4-bedroom, 2-bath for $375 in Nanuet on 10 South Lexow. And I think those are the only 2 that I saw from our company. Kevin Kavanaugh has one, but it's a EQ open house at 352 Route 340.
What street?
It's in Spark Hill, 352 Route 340. It's a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom for $347. All right. So thank you for being here for the first meeting of the year. Peter is going to fill in next week because I'm moving next week, so I'm not going to be here. So you might not ever see me again after this experience. So Peter will be here, and I hope you all make the time to come. Don't forget the Sunshine Fund. For people who don't know what this is, every week we collect $1 or $2 from people. We throw it in a pot, and it allows us to send flowers if somebody's not well, or in celebration if there's a baby or something like that. So I invite you to contribute if you can. And then remember now, somebody is going to buy a home, sell a home, or invest in real estate. They're doing it right now, and your job is to go out and find them. So have a great week, have a great start to the year, and we'll see you soon.
Then you're